Hello and welcome to Sitting Down with Schneider. Today is April the 20th, and we have the privilege today of speaking with Miss Rachel Kennealy. We're going to bring Rachel in right now. And there she is. How you doing, Rachel? Is the volume up? There you go. You good to go?
I'm good to go.
Rachel, before we continue on with anything, is it okay that I record this and put it on my YouTube channel?
Yes, it is.
Excellent, excellent. So I introduced that I was going to be speaking with Rachel Kennealy. So the first thing I'd like to do is ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in the Bay Area, specifically Brentwood, California. I went to Diablo Valley College and I studied political science and theater, and then I transferred to UCLA, the School of Theater, Film, and Television, where I majored in theater education. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Excellent, excellent. And so you're all done at UCLA.
Mhm.
And so what are you up to now?
Well, in my post-grad year, I worked with the city of Irvine for a little bit, doing childcare. Really, really loved that. And I was kind of going through my options and what I wanted to do with my theater degree going forward. I did audition for an MFA program just to kind of get my feet wet, see what it would be like. And I loved the experience. So I want to do that in the future. They definitely are looking for people a little bit more experienced that have, are probably in their mid to late 20s, have been doing shows for a little bit. So that's kind of what I want to do. I just want to kind of jump in, do some shows around the Bay Area or greater, and then double back and apply again and see where an MFA will take me.
So there's been just a little bit of a glitch in the whole plan here, right? In this last this last month and a half, just a bit. So how are you holding up with that? How's how are you doing with all this?
It's been a lot. It's been a huge upheaval of the plan that I had. I'm a very big planner, so kind of deriving from that has been a little bit weird and scary at times, but I'm starting to find my groove with it. I'm reading a bunch of plays and books. I'm doing self-tape work and trying to, work on, the audition package that I have right now. I don't know. I'm just kind of trying to lay the groundwork for when the world opens up again and I can do things again. That I won't have, I don't know, squandered this time.
Right. So making the most of this time. It's
Yeah.
like, are you able to? You mentioned doing some auditions. Are you able to audition online?
Yeah, I sent in a audition tape to a local theater. They're trying to figure out what they're gonna do and like how we could possibly rehearse virtually and then eventually do it in person. But it's just very interesting time for theater makers everywhere, and what they're doing with this new sort of world where potentially we won't be able to gather for another year or two. Like what does that mean for the future of art? Because art will always survive, it'll always survive, but it mutates and it goes through different forms and shapes when it needs to. And this is kind of the precipice of like we're about to take on new shapes, which will be really interesting. So I'm interested to see where just theater as a community in general is going in the next few years, because it's unprecedented territory.
Yeah, right. I'm right there with you. It's like no one has the answer, and it's just a matter of being, I think, as patient and creative as we possibly can.
Definitely.
Like you said, you're reading. You could say, oh, it'd be very easy for you to say, oh man, I got my degree from UCLA. I'm rolling along, and boot, poor me. But what I heard you say was, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm going to read these plays. I'm going to bone up on as much as I can to kind of prepare myself. So when I do get ready to go, like you said, hit the ground running, do as much as you possibly can with it, until the time is right when you can. And it could be, we don't know. I mean, optimistically, it could be this summer, but like you said, it could be 2 years down the road until we're able to go back to normal, right?
Yeah.
So you're at home, right? With
Yes.
with the fam. How's that going?
It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, there's 5 of us here in this house. I've been home for about, I think, almost 5 weeks now, which is insane. But yeah, we're holding up well. It's my dad's birthday, so we're gonna celebrate that.
Wait, it's your dad's birthday today?
Mhm.
Okay, so I think when we're done with this Zoom, I think I better be making a phone call, huh?
I
Yeah.
think so. I think so. Doing a little,
Yeah.
I don't know what I've been told.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. My goodness. Hey,
But
a lot of times in this type of situation, when things get completely turned upside down like this, people will realize some about themselves they maybe didn't know before. Has that happened to you at all? Anything you realize about yourself that you may not have realized before?
yeah, I mean, it's given me a lot of time to think and to, process things. I've been, journaling a lot. I've been writing. I did this thing where I've been writing letters to friends and like doing a pen pal sort of thing. And I don't know, I think through all of it, I just remembered how resilient I am, I guess. Um, it reminds me a lot of the time that I was in community college and I was living at home, and it felt like I wasn't moving forward, and it felt like I was stalling out, and it felt, like there wasn't, when you're in a, it's a great reminder that not every season of life is, fruitful, and you're not always going to have, something Facebook worthy to post, in every point in your life. Sometimes it's like, you're putting, your head down, you're doing the work, and there's not much to show for it then, but there will be down the road. And it feels like I'm returning to one of those times. And I grew a lot in the first 2 years of college, deciding to stay home for mental health reasons as well as financial reasons, and really, really working on myself those 2 years. And in a lot of good ways, it feels like that time of my life again, where it's like, it's uncomfortable, it's a little bit crunchy, doesn't totally make sense. I feel, a little bit estranged from things, but I feel very connected to the work that I need to do and pull through.
So like a little bit of it's a like I'm hearing you say it's okay to work through that dissonance a little bit,
Yeah,
right? It's
definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
And you made reference to fruitful, and not to be too weird with the comparisons, but it really is like, you're planting the seeds, right? The seeds there, you don't see it, like you said, they're under the soil. You're just working, you're doing that thing, and not every moment is that big blooming, flower. Look at me, but it's that doing everything that's necessary. So again, when the time is right, you can do it, whether it's an audition or a number of auditions that work for you, or that you do apply for that MFA, and when you do apply, you know more about your strengths and what you're doing because of all this. So such um, a positive way to look at this crazy situation, because it really truly is a crazy, I've
Yeah.
been, and I'm sure your mom is in that same level of dissonance where you're like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now?
As a theater teacher, like, what do I even do here? Yeah, it's a
Right, yeah, what do we do?
time.
So have you been able to keep in touch with people over Zoom, like friends and things like that? You keeping those social connections?
Yeah, I've been able to do a lot of that, a lot of Zooming. I have a D&D group that meets over Zoom, which is fun. We do some game nights on Saturday where we do like Mafia, but over Zoom. It's like we're figuring out ways to make it work. So yeah, I do still feel connected to people, just in a very different way. But it's also, I feel like, more thoughtful when it's this way. When it's like you have to intentionally, be there for each other. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Absolutely. You know what I always found ironic, and you're the first person I actually shared this with, but there were times when, and any of the kids, whether it was Haley, Casey, Pack, kids would be at the house, like they'd be at a gathering,
Hmm.
but they'd all be on their phones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's just so, it just feels weirdly ironic to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just, I don't know.
Yeah.
That piece, I was thinking of that the other day, and I thought it just kind of came to my mind. I thought you'd be a good person to share that with. You know, you're all in the same room.
Mhm.
Everyone's kind of, doing,
Yep.
you're like, now, right now, that's the only way to actually socialize.
Yeah, but because we're using it, we can't be, typing on it or doing whatever. We actually just have to communicate through it.
Yes, you have
So
to
in a way,
be present, right?
you're more present. Yeah.
Yeah. Casey was explaining to me the other day about the idea of, and you know as well as anybody as a theater major, that presence in theater is so important. So just another part of the training, right?
Yep.
Hey, when this is all said and done, a question I like to ask: what's going to be one of the first, couple things that you want to do? This whole thing is lifted. I know it's a pretty loaded question. What comes to mind? What do you want to do first, and first or second?
I want to go to Yogurt Pizzazz and I want to get some cake batter yogurt and put a bunch of Oreos on it. And then I want to go lay out on a blanket in Creekside Park and watch the sunset.
That sounds like a really, really cool plan.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
hope that happens
yeah.
sooner than later, right?
That's
Let's
my hope.
absolutely happen.
Because I
Hey,
in summertime, but
yes, summertime's here. Let's get this thing taken care of. Get to Yogurt Pizzazz and get out to Creekside. I love that. That is awesome. So, okay, well, I think we'll wrap things up. I don't want to keep you too long. I mean, hey, it is Dad's birthday after all, and now I feel, the strange sudden need to have to actually call up Rick and wish him happy birthday now. So, are you guys doing something cool for him?
yeah, well, we're probably gonna. I don't know. My mom's making dinner right now. I'm gonna go pop in, see what's going on. We'll try to loop in Brendan over Zoom or something so we can all be together. But yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. Rachel, thank you so much for sitting down. You always have such, to me, incredible insight and just such a clear head on how to move forward on things like this. I hope some people watch this because I think you have a lot of really cool stuff to say. So yeah, thanks for sitting down with me today.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, kiddo. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Bye.